Why were the Bronze Age and Iron Age so important to Sutton Poyntz?
We live in a really amazing countryside here in Dorset. It's not just the Ridgeway, but Portland as well. There's all sorts of ancient artefacts there, evidence of people living there. But that bit of the Ridgeway, sort of that stretches from a little bit east of us, all the way along parallel with the coast as far as Bridport, and a little bit inland, is really important for large-scale old workings, as it were. The most famous of them is Maiden Castle, and that was probably the last of them, much the biggest. Chalbury Castle was older. Maiden Castle was about 400 BC. Chalbury was about 800 BC. But if you look at some of the smaller bumps, like Binkham Bumps and the mounds that are all over the hillside in Dorset, they're much, much older. They're more like 6 or even 8,000 years old. We're in a very, very important landscape.
Why didn't people make a graveyard instead of making Binkham Bumps and Chalbury Hill?
We're talking about a very, very long time ago when they made mounds on the hill to bury people. We're talking about, I think, about 6,000 years ago or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But a little bit later, there was a graveyard that they dug up on the hill on one side at a place called Rimbury, which is near Chalbury. And there's a lovely story to do with that, which is that the farmer who owned the land there sent his people out to get the land ready to plough. It had never been ploughed before. This was the very first time they were going to try to grow wheat or something. I think it had probably always been used for sheep pasture or something like that. So the workmen went up onto the hillside and they started picking up the stones that were there to make it ready to plough. And under the stones, they found little ancient pots. And they thought, oh, our luck's in. These pots are all going to be full of money, they thought. And they were ever so disappointed when the pots were only full of bones and ashes, burnt people. So it was a graveyard. And because they were so disappointed, they started lining up all the pots and threw the stones at them and used them for target practice until the farmer found out what was going on and told them to stop and got some people in to do some proper excavation there. So there was a burial ground a long time ago.